Hello, this is Lillian, welcoming you to the 1946th edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, Dateline the 20th of March 2014. The readers this week are Joan, Rod and myself, Lillian, with Cassandra and Colin on the controls. The items that we will be reading come from our local newspapers, the Enfield Gazette and Advertiser and the Enfield Independent, and are their copyright. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Prilly, Fernand Boulon, Harry Brewer, and performed by Jean-Jacques Perry, and is used with his kind permission. Local stories include Rebel de Bois, thwarted in Commons vote on Care Bill, new plan unveiled as homeless figures rise, group urges council to support trust, merger, and Chase Farm Hospital Urgent Care Centre. If you are experiencing any problems receiving your Enfield Talking newspaper, please phone Diane de Jersey on 0208 805 6578. She is your listener's representative and will be pleased to help you. We have some special news items for you. I will start off, and Joan and Rod will be reading some as well, to make it a bit more interesting for you. My first two are, there will be no Enfield Vision meeting on April the 7th because of Easter. Also, there will be no tape from Enfield Talking newspaper on Thursday the 17th of April, as it's the day before Good Friday. So the next tape will be the following week on Thursday the 24th of April. We hope you will all have a very happy Easter. And I will pass these messages on to my colleagues on Team D, A and B, so you will receive reminders on the other weeks. And now over to Joan, who will read the other special news items.
Enfield Library Service has purchased and I'm going to spell this out to you because it's a new title, capital E-Y-E, another word, P-A-L, that's PAL, and solo, capital S-O-L-O. So the full title is an iPal Solo for its libraries in Ridge Avenue, Edmonton Green, and Enfield Town. The devices can be used to access any print materials, from books to letters, so VIP users can pop into a branch to have a letter read to them. You can take your own headphones or borrow some from the library. There is a large print user guide to assist independent users, and staff are available to help. And now, a notice about 2 multi-sports activity days, all of which are capital letters, multi-sports activity days for blind and visually impaired people. East London Vision, the London Borough of Waltham Forest, Waltham Forest Vision, Greenwich Leisure that should have said, and Metro Blind Sport are holding 2 free half days of sports, doing coaching and tester sessions for blind and partially sighted people. Activities you can get involved in include trampolining, athletics, judo, goalball, table tennis, polybat, gym, tennis, short mat bowls, football, self-defense, and tandem cycling. The activity days will take place on Saturday the 5th and Saturday the 26th of April from 1 to 5 p.m. at Walthamstow Leisure Centre, 243 Mark House Road, E17 BRN. But to attend, you must register for your free place by Friday the 28th of March. Please contact, and there's your names coming up now, I'll spell those, Luana, capital L-U-A-N-A, dot, Tierney, T-I-E-R-N-E-Y, at Waltham Forest in lowercase, no capitals here, Waltham Forest, gov.uk, and a telephone number's given, 0208 496 3690, or Ian.Francis, small f, at Metro Blind Sport, all one word, org. I'll go over that one here. Ian.Francis, with small f, at metroblindsport.org. And the number 07814 751 643.
Now some more special notices. Health Watch Enfield is holding a workshop on how complaints and feedback can improve services on the 2nd of April from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Community House, 4th Street, Edmonton, N90PZ. The workshop will enable attendees to learn how the complaints and feedback process works, what issues have been raised locally, and what lessons have been learned. Speakers will include representatives from Health Watch Enfield, Voiceability, Enfield Council, and complaints officers from the North Middlesex, Chase Farm, and Barnet hospitals. Refreshments are provided. Space is limited and will be issued on a first-come, first-served basis. To reserve your place, please email info@healthwatchenfield.co.uk or ring Gary Pluck on 0208 373 6283. Now, you may have heard recently from the Enfield Talking newspaper that Enfield Council plans to close the town centre to traffic to create a cycling-friendly space. The Council is now consulting on the future of all its town centres. The Council wants to know your views on how town centres and shopping areas in the borough should be managed, how they can be improved, and how Enfield can be made a better place to do business. To receive an audio or braille copy of the consultation documents, please contact Karen Hale, Community Engagement Officer, at Enfield Council on 0208 379 3885. The consultation runs until 5 o'clock on Friday the 11th of April.
And I have two more special notices. The first one is the London Blind Rambling Club has a programme of walks which are taking place between March and October. Walks generally last around 7 miles with a pub stop. For more information, please contact Valerie Clark on 0208 868 0096 or email valerie@clark.co.uk. And the second one is monthly audio description sessions at Tate Britain start in March. Talks take place seated in the gallery with trained visual describers giving a detailed and fascinating description of the works. Sighted escorts and guide dogs are welcome. For more information, please call 0207 887 8888 or email Anna, that's small a N A dot small m Murray at tate.org.uk. And now Joan will go to the local news for you. Thank you.
An elderly people's group is urging Enfield Borough Council to support a proposal for the Royal Free NHS Foundation Trust to buy Barnet and Chase Farm Hospitals Trust. The Enfield Over 50s Forum believes the acquisition will secure the long-term future of Chase Farm Hospital in the Ridgeway. President of the group, Monty Meth, said, Barnet and Chase Farm Hospitals are budgeting on a £32.5 million deficit in the coming financial year. We're afraid that if the plans don't go ahead, there will be no future for Chase Farm. We could be step-walking into a crisis. Mr. Meth wants Enfield Borough Council to write a letter expressing its approval to monitor the independent regulator of NHS Foundation Trust, which is currently considering the proposal. Speaking about why he believes the acquisition will be beneficial and help secure Chase Farm, he added, an expanded trust would be better placed to deal with the inevitable financial pressures that will occur, population increases, along with rising life expectancy and the increase in long-term illness. Services will be secured at Barnet and Chase Farm hospitals, and travel to the Royal Free will only be needed with more specialist expertise which is required. An Enfield spokesman said, the Council has a long history of championing the best health needs of local people and striving to ensure there are high-quality NHS services available to residents throughout Enfield. The Council is keen to ensure that there is a long-term viable future for a full range of NHS provision on the Chase Farm site, and will continue to insist that any receipts from land sales are ring-fenced for the development of NHS services to the people of Enfield. It is very much to be hoped that the current acquisition process leads to significant additional investment and a secure long-term future for a full range of NHS services on the Chase Farm site.
And now some more NHS news. MPs have passed new legislation which would allow the government to close or downgrade NHS hospitals without consultation. The Care Bill contains a clause that would permit administrators appointed to oversee struggling hospital trusts in England to also downgrade and even close neighbouring trusts without consulting clinicians or patient groups. Clause 119 was inserted into the bill after Secretary of State for Health Jeremy Hunt was told by the Court of Appeal last year that he had acted outside his powers when he tried to cut emergency and maternity services at Lewisham Hospital in South London. The downgrade was proposed after a neighbouring trust went into administration. Politicians opposing the new powers, which were passed in the House of Commons last Tuesday, included Enfield North MP Nick Dubois, who lost out when Liberal Democrat MP Paul Burstow withdrew an amendment which would have given local commissioners the final say, in a last-minute U-turn condemned by health campaigners. Mr Dubois ended up voting, along with Edmonton MP Andy Love, in favour of a Labour amendment that sought to scrap the clause altogether, but this was defeated. He said, "I could not vote for anything that reduced the influence of local clinicians in deciding the future of healthcare services in Enfield." Unfortunately, any possibility of winning this was lost when the Lib Dems withdrew their amendment. Alive Kazigamlu, chairwoman of Enfield Council's Health and Wellbeing Scrutiny Panel, claimed Mr Dubois' opposition was insincere. "The passing of this clause means that no hospital is safe under this government," she said. "It is a draconian measure that allows accountants and not doctors or nurses to make decisions about our health services. This is another top-down, centrally imposed reorganisation that makes Nick Dubois' rebellion even more insincere, as it is his government's cuts that have made our hospitals unsustainable." Health campaigners have raised concerns about Clause 119, as the Barnet and Chasehorn Hospitals NHS Trust, which is set to be acquired by the Royal Free Hospital, has a deficit of £16.9 million and is one of 21 English trusts about which the NHS Trust Development Authority has expressed worries. Monitor, the health service regulator, is assessing the Royal Free bid, which would see a large part of the deficit absorbed by the Hampstead-based trust, which is in good financial health. Enfield Southgate MP David Burrows voted with the government in favour of the new powers.
I have a notice which I feel that you would want to know about. You may not know, on the other hand you may, but bear with me please. It's Barnet and Chase Farm Hospitals NHS Trust, and they say there is no A&E department at Chase Farm Hospital. Chase Farm Hospital Urgent Care Centre, which is in the Ridgeway, Enfield, EN2 8JL. They will be seeing people from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. 7 days a week, and will be dealing with sprains, strains and broken bones, minor burns and scalds, minor head and eye injuries, bites and stings, minor illnesses and x-rays. A&E or 999, they will deal with mental health emergency. NHS, which is 111 to contact. Urgent care and walk-in centres. GPs or pharmacists or self-care. I hope this has been a help to you, but I felt that you should know about this. Thank you.
A man from Bounds Green has been charged with causing death by dangerous driving following a collision last year in which a pensioner died. Ried Ladiasa, 40, of Brownlow Road, is also accused of causing death while driving an uninsured car. He was charged on Monday in connection with a fatal collision between a car and 78-year-old pedestrian Andrula Michael in Sussex Way, Islington, on May the 1st, 2013. The pensioner of Coatbridge House, Carnoustie Drive, Islington, was taken to St Mary's Hospital in Paddington, central London, where she died that evening. Ladiasa has been released on bail and is scheduled to appear at Highbury Corner Magistrates Court on April the 1st.
Superman John Wallace will be hoping to fly around the course when he runs his 288th marathon next month, raising yet more money for charity. The 57-year-old of Connaught Avenue, Enfield, will be donning his well-travelled costume for the Virgin Money London Marathon on April 13th. "I've always run as Superman," said John. "It started as a £5 bet to run in fancy dress, and I've been doing it since 1986. He has raised £53,000 for a number of charities over the years, and now he is hoping to add £2,000 to that figure when he runs for the North London Hospice. I chose the hospice as a friend died of cancer a month ago, and I thought of the charity, which is the last resting place for many dealing with terminal illnesses. It feels appropriate that I raise money for them." John's long history of marathon running includes events in this country and abroad. He said, "My best year was 1991, when I ran 43 marathons. I did 11 in 1 month. I've taken part in every London marathon since 1986. I've loved every marathon. I'm Superman, aren't I? So I guess it does get easier every year. I'd like to thank all my sponsors by doing my best and participating in every marathon. There's always support from the community," added John. "The money I've raised in previous years has shown that. We need the same support, if not even more this year. To donate to John, visit uk.virginmoneygiving.com/John Wallace."
A man accused of stabbing another person to death in Enfield Wash last year has gone on trial at the Old Bailey. Unemployed Paul Floyd Marshall, 51, of Elmhurst Road, sat in the dock accused of murdering 47-year-old Orville Brown in the early hours of July the 12th. Mr. Brown lived at the same address as Marshall. The victim was found by police officers lying outside the property with multiple stab wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene by a doctor from London Air Ambulance shortly before 3 a.m. A post-mortem examination at Haringey Mortuary gave the cause of death as a stab wound to the neck. Marshall denies murder and the trial continues.
20 council tenants have secured a grant towards buying their own home on the private market over the past year. Friday was the last day for applications in this year's round of the government's Grants to Vacate scheme, under which Enfield Council tenants can apply for funding towards buying a property if they move from local authority accommodation. Those who have been council tenants for at least 2 years qualify, but have to prove they are up to date with rent and unable to afford a home without the aid of the grant. Qualifying applicants receive £40,000 if moving from a one-bedroom property, £50,000 if moving from a two-bedroom home, and £55,000 if moving from a property with 3 or more bedrooms. Ahmet Oykner, Cabinet Member for Housing, said, "This scheme represents excellent value for money in terms of the cost of acquiring properties back to offer to new tenants in housing need. It also offers existing tenants an opportunity to get on the property ladder. For successful applicants who have not completed a purchase, money will be carried over to next year. The council says it has a waiting list of tenants who have applied and will be assessed in April when the budget for the new financial year becomes available. Since the start of the scheme in 2004, the council has paid out £6.84 million in grants, supporting a total of 211 purchases. The scheme is set to continue, providing the government matches the funding put in by the council.
Enfield College is celebrating its 3rd triumph in as many years after scooping another award at the Ideal Homes Show this week. A team from Capel Manor College in Bullsmore Lane, Enfield, has been crowned winner of the Young Gardener of the Year competition at the Ideal Homes Show in Earl's Court. Cultivate Calm a garden designed by Lucy Canocci and Vanessa Blaine, along with 9 other horticultural students, was described by Judge and Princess Foundation Ambassador Dermot Gavin as a beautifully refined design with superb planting. The garden took 5 days to create from scratch, and the team are delighted with their achievements. Ms. Blaine said, "We had some really positive feedback, and I'm very pleased we as a team have created such a harmonious design." Satisfied with their victory, Ms. Canoche believes the group can go even further with their designs. She said, "I would now feel completely prepared to build a show garden in Hampton Court. Probably the best thing to have come out of the project is that we now know all of the landscaping team and we have their contact numbers, so if we needed any work doing in the future, we could go to them." Sarah Seary, head of horticulture at Capel Manor College, said, "It was a brilliant experience for the students at such a big event. It was hard work, 12 to 14 hours every day, which they put in without any complaint. We're very pleased with the result, and it's especially exciting that so many people will see their design work. The design will continue to be showcased at the event until March the 30th.
Smokers were encouraged to kick the habit and improve their health as part of National No Smoking Day. Enfield councillors were among those at Enfield Marketplace and Chase Farm Hospital last Wednesday, offering free advice about how to stop smoking. Councillor Christine Hamilton, Cabinet Member for Community Wellbeing and Public Health, said, "Although it is hard, help is available to support those who are trying. And what is more, there are real gains, not least the cost of cigarettes, which for a regular supply would cost about £2,000 a year. So I say, save money, improve health, and live longer. It's time to give up." We have now come to the end of side 1. Please stop your machine now. Take out the cassette, turn it over, and start side 2.